Yeah, and
Check
he
one, check
moved.
two, check three.
Oh,
Og.
Who's
There we
that?
go. That's me.
hey,
Where's your picture?
I'm gonna stay hidden.
cool.
You're
Okay.
gonna stay hidden?
Yeah, I have I have a job that probably wouldn't be too happy with some of the things that I said publicly, so I don't want it to come back and bite
That's
me in the
that's
boot
That's
hole.
totally
fair.
fine. Totally fine. Og, where are you from? Are you from Africa?
No,
I didn't
I
think
was
so.
born in
Actually.
yeah, I was born in New Jersey, grew up in Virginia, and moved to California when I was like 21.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
So
Welcome
I've
aboard,
been
man. It's good to have you.
thanks. No, I
what
enjoy
you
you guys' show.
you
Cool.
Africa for what? Work reasons?
I got into African music about 30 some years ago when I was like in college, and I completely fell in love with the music and the languages and the cultures. And so I've been living here off and on for about the past 28 years. And I
Damn.
left America permanently in 2015, and I've been here ever since.
Well, that's good for you, man. I
Dope.
can't find time to leave my city, much less the country. That's awesome, dude. That you like you're into something that much, and you like you make that kind of decision to just do it. I admire that really. A lot of people are afraid of
Thanks.
change. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Africa reminds me of America from the 1950s. People here, they're so kind and so polite. Like there's almost no crime and people leave you alone and they're always helpful and these kinds of things. So it's a really healthy society for me to live in.
See, and you know what's funny about that is that every time I hear someone, I speak to anyone that's outside of the states, they usually have nothing but good things to say about where they're at. But when you've only lived in the states and you hear the propaganda that comes from over here, it's the only place to be. Everywhere else is miserable, and America is it. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
crazy. I spoke to a guy the other day. He's a CEO of a pretty good sized company. Sorry, and he's actually living in Mexico now. He's been there for the past 5 or 6 years, and he said he loves it. He said it's amazing, and I'm thinking, well, that ain't what the
Mm.
fuck I hear about Mexico. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's
But
it's it's all about, keeping people stuck in the matrix, and you don't know what you don't know until you find out what you don't know. And the more I got to live here in Africa, and I was living here longer and longer, Zimbabwe for 3 months, then back to America, and I just recognized, man, these people they don't. There's no violence. They don't fight with each other. People are like I said, it's the 1950s. Your son is my son as well, and we look out for each other and help each other. It's just an amazing culture to live in.
damn, man, look, hey, if Trump loses, I'm moving to Africa. I'm going. That
Is
sounds
Shane,
awesome.
Shane, I am living in a hotel. Okay, I could live for cheaper than what I'm living. I'm living in a hotel, everything, food, water, electricity, high-speed internet, backup generator, the whole nine yards for 1,300 a month. And I have it's like a two-bedroom apartment with they do my laundry for me, they do my cleaning for me, and I'm living like I'm spending too much and I can live on 1,300 a month.
Damn.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Man.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, how often do you come back to the states, or do you?
No, I haven't been back in 10 years.
Yeah, I remember you said so. You don't come at all. You got family over here, though, I assume.
Just my sister. She lives outside of DC.
Well, let me ask you this: are you at liberty? Not where you work, but liberty to say what you do for a living. The industry you're in. You don't have to. I don't want to ask you nothing that's gonna. I'm just curious, man. You intrigue me, man. Like I said, I admire someone who can pack up for one and just leave the damn country. I'm afraid to move out of my city because of the
Right.
change. You know what I mean? That's awesome.
Shane, if I told you the story of my life, you would never believe it. You'd think that I'm full of crap if I told you all the crazy stuff that's happened to me in my life.
Well, hopefully we'll have you around long enough where we can start getting bits and pieces of it, man. Because you seem like an interesting guy. Like I say, anybody
Absolutely.
who's willing to say, "Oh, I fell in love with a culture. I'm moving." They're different. Let's put it that
Right.
way, in a good way. You know what I mean? That's different. I'm not used to that.
I speak four African languages too.
Good God Almighty! I barely speak English, and I'm from here.
I'm starting to forget my English. I'm starting to forget my English though.
That's
Wow.
awesome, man. Well,
So
what?
what do we start?
Oh,
Nine
I'm sorry.
11.
No, oh God, no, no. Let's not do that. No, I'm just kidding. No, we can't. I was about to bring it, actually turn it into somewhat of that. I was going to ask the differences between where you're at as far as government goes and the corruption level compared to what we see over here now in the States. I mean, is that running rampant over there? I mean, does it matter where you're at? I guess in the world, is the government going to be the damn government?
It's very, very corrupt, incredibly corrupt. You know, America is corrupt. You know what I say to people is the difference between governments here and governments in America is our country is one of the few that takes our taxes to bomb other people.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right?
it's true.
Yeah.
Every government is going to have corruption and these types of things, but you know, here I would rather them not do that.
Yeah,
Take my
yeah,
tax money to kill innocent people and stuff like that, you know.
sure. Well, that,
And the advantage of America is you're allowed to speak your mind, and not go to prison. Because I have a friend of mine who was a journalist in Congo, and I was living in Congo for a while. This is DR Congo, Kinshasa, and he was like writing stories about the corruption of the Kabila government in Kinshasa. And it's been about 10 years now, and they still don't know where his body is.
God, damn. Skate community. I'm reaching out to the chats real quick. Glad you made it, skate community. Thank you for checking in, brother. We appreciate you listening. But yeah, man, that's crazy. So the lack of freedom of speech is something that y'all have to be concerned with over there. I mean, is there like you know, as far as you know, consequences?
Yes.
So in other
Yeah.
words, if you got caught saying shit on here, you know, you could be in some sort of I guess trouble, so to say.
I can talk about the American government.
I hear you. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, what are the consequences over there?
In the country that I'm currently in now, probably not so much. It's a fairly liberal country,
Yeah.
but I've lived in 21 African countries, and some of them, yeah, they'll stick you in jail.
God. Well, let me ask you.
Shit.
You brought up the word liberal. How do you lean? Honestly, conservative, liberal.
I'm completely and totally against everything.
Love it, dude. How, that's how everybody should be. Honestly, I mean, I find myself nowadays, just because of the atmosphere in the country, I find myself leaning one way because I'm so sick of how the side that's running it is running it right now. But you know, I try to stay in the middle, but they make it so hard, man. You know.
Absolutely.
I'd like to go back to George Carlin's thing about voting is, I think it was George Carlin that said it's like voting for paper or plastic at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Was that him that said that? I think it was. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think his other one was, you know, it's what he said. It's one big club, and you ain't in it.
And you ain't in it.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's true,
Very
man.
true.
You're starting to see that. I think COVID opened up a lot of people's eyes. I mean, I don't know you know, how you feel about that, but you know, of course, a lot of people kind of, you know, thought that it was a big, you know, turned into a bunch of bullshit that was actually proven. You know what I mean? And I think that opened up a lot of people's eyes to how dirty these governments can be. And I say governments because I think it was a worldwide thing. You know, the way that they treated that. Once they knew that it wasn't what they were making it out to be, they kept with it. You know what I mean? And I just, you know, to me personally, like I said, you may not feel that way. Maybe you thought it was something that needed to be treated that way, but you know, I know a lot of people around here think that it was very, very overblown, and they ruined a lot of lives and a lot of livelihoods. You know, the way that they made us all shut down across the world, you know, over that bullshit. And seems like there was a bigger reason behind it than just public safety. So I don't know.
Yeah, definitely a scam for sure. You actually tried to get on me in the first chat that I typed in. I woke up. I woke up in January of 2002, like completely woke up. And so I've been doing research since January of 2002. And so when I was living in, let me say it this way, I was living in a particular North African country that I won't name when when it started happening in November and December in China. And I saw the people in China that were like falling to the ground. And I was like, oh, this is the biggest bunch of BS I ever heard. And they started to ramp up all of the, you know, the propaganda and the TV and all this kind of stuff. And I was telling the people that I was working with, I was like, there's nothing to be afraid of. This is BS. They're just using it to put fear and control people. Nobody believed me. Everybody that I worked with, they all got the Jabberjaw, which is, Justin, is a throwback to an old cartoon that came out before you were born called Jabberjaw. It was about a shark. I don't want you guys to get taken down. So we're talking about Jabberjaw.
No, we good, man. I'm We talked about all of that on here, and it's been fine. So,
Oh, okay. So I was the only one that didn't take the Jabberjaw, and I was also the only one to not get sick for 3 years. I was not sick, not once, and everybody else got sick. But I was one of the people that actually went to Zanzibar. And one of the things that I was talking to, what's the other guy's name? Bougie, is that right?
Gucci, yeah.
Yep.
I was in Zanzibar because it was the only place that didn't lock down.
So they were open the entire time? Oh shit! Did we lose you?
We might have lost.
So there.
Oh yeah. You last I heard was it was the only place that didn't lock down.
Check 1, 2, 3.
I can. Yeah, but it's very faint. I hear you.
Very
Still there?
faint.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, can you hear us?
Hang on, I lost my thing.
Go ahead. I can hear you loud and clear.
Check 1, 2, 3.
You good?
Really, Justin?
It's my COVID jab, dog.
You there?
Check 1, 2, 3.
I hear you.
Oh, it's the government. Oh, you can't hear me? Okay.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because now I can't hear you. Hang on, let me go to my thing. I guess the government is out to get me again. Because now I can't hear you guys.
Shutting it down. As soon as we start talking about COVID.
Check 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5,
Right.
6, 7, 8.
I hear you, buddy, but
Yeah, we hear you.
Now
fine.
you guys dropped out.
damn it.
Hello?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Obama.
it is the government.
And
I
look,
don't know why it went
also, you
off,
might
though.
want to log out and log back in, dude. You know?
Now I can't hear you guys.
Drink, y'all. Keep Ogford on. Type him back if you got to. He can.
So, Justin, that was your COVID jab? Is that
Check
what that
1,
is?
2.
Yeah, that's my COVID jab, dog.
Justin, no, I didn't. It just,
Yeah,
I
Ogford,
moved
can you hear
my
us?
thing a little bit, and then it went off.
Huh.
Hang on. Check. Check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we hear you fine.
All right, I gotta do that. Oh, you know what it is? I think I know what it is. It's this one right here.
Nice.
Check. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear us.
I
but-
can't hear
I
you
can
guys,
hear
though.
you.
Did you mute yourself?
No, because I can hear Brad.
Yeah, no, we're talking, you know?
Because I can't hear you.
I can hear you
Justin,
if you
talk
can't
for me,
hear
please.
us. Yeah, there's something on your end.
Hello.
You can hear me, Justin?
I don't hear
Yeah.
anything.
Okay.
Everything was fine. Yeah, I can't hear you anymore though. My my cable shifted in my computer and then it shut everything down. But you're telling me you can hear me, but I can't hear you anymore.
That's correct.
You guys keep talking and then when I can hear you again, I will jump in.
I got you. All right. Be red.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
We still lost him?
Kind of. We can hear him. He can't hear us right now.
No,
Yeah.
well,
So,
you don't need to hear us. We ain't saying nothing.
but he's working on it.
We need some intermission music or what?
Maybe some elevator jams.
Yeah, elevated jams would be good. Yeah.
No, what else is going man, can you imagine like you just pack up and just move You know what I'm saying? Out
Yeah.
the country, like just don't give a fuck. I just
That's a
don't have
tough one, dude.
you do.
That's what I was gonna say. I wish I had it in me and just like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm out, and just
Yeah.
go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you got
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. That was a good suggestion, Justin.
Oh.
So what I was saying, Justin, was the fact of I was down in Zanzibar, and it was the only country not to lock down. They said that over the 3-year period that there were 500 and something deaths, which I don't believe. My I have I know somebody in the government. Let's put it that way, very high in the Tanzanian government, um, and we don't believe that. And it's the theory is, wink wink, that the president of Tanzania was removed because he's in the early days of the coup. He sent pawpaw juice, papaya, motor oil, and goat's blood to the national laboratory, and it all tested positive for the coup.
Oh,
Wow.
And
wow.
so in I think it was like maybe March or April of 2020, it being a religious country, which I'm not, I don't believe in that either. He went out and said, there's nothing for us to fear. We can just pray this virus away, blah, 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 blah. But they had millions of people that came into the country, and no masks, no jabberjaw, no nothing. And it was fine.
Right.
It was fine.
And
Yeah.
and then a year and a half later, they got rid of him.
Hmm.
Mm.
Jesus.
Yeah, he wasn't part of the big cabal, man.
Yeah.
Correct.
I wonder what was behind it all for it to be such a cooperative operation. You know what I mean?
I
My
see it.
m- my best guess is not only is it about killing people for sure,
Mm.
but seeing how they can control people's lives and what are people going to put up with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awkward you say that. And I think all of us have talked on this cast about that it's all about it was a test run with COVID to see how much control that this government or governments can have against the people and to see how much people will conform and just go with it and see what happens. Exactly right. I believe you 100%.
And I think that, well, because I know that they were supposed to roll out in what year is this? 2023. Uh, was it Marburg? I can't remember what it was. There was some other disease. I try and disconnect my life from everything and just remember as little as possible. But I think it was Marburg, and somebody got the documents and they released it. And so many people, myself included, started publishing things on the internet that supposedly after the first 6 months, there's supposed to be something like 800 million dead. Like they were
Wow.
doing a repeat of the event 201.
Mm.
And this was like they were doing the same practice drills and these kinds of things. And yeah, there were so many people posting. I think that maybe they had to do an end run. Um, and then recently they tried to do Marburg again, and then they tried to do monkeypox. Um, but the problem is the fact of I have people located all over Africa, and one of my friends is in a position of importance that I won't mention specifically what he does, but very important position there that is in the know of everything that happens in the east of Congo. And he's like, no, it's BS. And so what I was doing is I was going on Twitter and writing to the WHO and the CDC because the head of the African version of the CDC is from Congo. And so I speak his language. And so I would type on in that language, which very few people speak.
Mm.
And I was telling him, you can try this if you want to, and I'm going to expose you. And I'm going to expose your family, and I'm going to expose what a liar you are, and I'm going to expose the fact that you're a traitor. And you guys can try this again, but the people from this country, they're not going to stand for it.
You're a brave man.
Yes.
Well, maybe I'm just stupid.
No,
Maybe I'm just stupid. But Shane, you'll appreciate this story. I actually sent a picture of my middle finger to Governor Gavin Newsom during
love.
this because remember in November of 2020 they caught him out to the fancy dinner, not having
Oh
a
yeah,
mask and all this
oh
kind of
yeah.
stuff. So
Yes.
what I did was because I used to live in California, I sent his office an email and I said, this was like 2 days before Thanksgiving. And I said, "Dear Governor Newsom, I'm inviting everybody from the neighborhood to my house." And then I gave my old address that I used to live in California. And I said, "The party's going to start at 12 o'clock. You're more than welcome to come over. We're not going to wear masks. We're not going to do, anything that you tell us." And then I told him to go F himself. And I took a picture of my middle finger and I sent it to him.
Now, see things like that. Now, that's what surprised me that more people weren't, you know, uh, didn't wake up after that and
Right.
really see what was going on because they had some people that no matter what people like Gavin Newsom were doing, as they were following what they were saying. If they were telling you to stay inside, wear your mask, don't go to these functions, and they were like, okay. Meanwhile, they're out there doing it, and they would get caught, and these people still wouldn't change their mind. It
Nope.
blows my mind
Yep.
that I guess that tribal mentality that people get, and they're going to listen to the leader no matter what. It's crazy. Well, yeah, you just said it, Og. I seen that. Yeah, the leader. They find a leader, they stick to him. It doesn't matter what this leader's doing. It just matters what he's saying, and I just don't understand that mind frame. Let's welcome Bougie into the chat. He finally decided to wake up.
Well,
Good
yeah,
job,
Booge.
Booge.
Bougie, we got Ogford on the line here. Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
can.
I'm
Yeah,
going
we
to
got
be
a
like
very
Walkwood. Hello, can you hear me?
no, no, he's actually from the States, man. Believe it or not.
No, I'm just messing with you, just jerking around.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have logged in on my phone, but would have been on my phone, and that's
No,
double standard.
what was I going to ask you all for? Shit, I was going somewhere and then I started talking to Bougie.
Damn it,
Ab-
Bougie.
About
What?
leaders.
Well, I was going to ask. I was just thinking about what we got going over here with Trump and all. What I mean, do people give two shits about that? Where you're at, like as far as American politics and who's running our country and all that?
Um, Some yes, a lot of no. I mean, they do follow it because America is such an important country, but
Right.
a lot of the people here, they're still kind of ingrained in that leadership role. And the thing that people like about Trump is he's so brutally honest,
Sure.
which is an attractive quality to people. But what they don't do is go through and dig all of the bad things that both the Democrats and Republicans have done. They just see the superficial sound bites,
Yeah.
which leads people to continue to perpetuate the pendulum going back and forth. I mean, I've been around since the Nixon administration, and it's only gotten worse. Democrats and Republicans are equally responsible.
Yeah. Which is
Absolutely.
what I was saying earlier about the whole tribal thing. It's like that doesn't seem to matter to people. You pick a team and you stay with your team, and you go to war for your team. And meanwhile, the people that are in charge of this team really don't give two shits about you. You know what I mean? And
Right.
people still do it. I mean, generations and generations, they start brainwashing you from a young age. You pick a side and you stick with that side. So, but I was wondering because I mean, I haven't. I mean, I'm not that old, but I've been around for a few administrations, and I've never seen anyone like Trump come out that they were so dead set that they were gonna, basically not allow him in. So that kind of opened my eyes to say, well, there's a reason they're so hell bent on keeping this guy out of office, and it's not because that he's bad for the country or whatever. There's always a deeper reason, and I think a lot of it's financial, a lot of just power in general. So I didn't know if that was any kind of topic that people discussed around the world, or is it just just a big issue here, more than it is anywhere.
Well, I guess the thing that I would ask you non-rhetorically is, what if that was part of the plan?
Well, I
Mm.
mean, and that's a good
Wow.
question. It's a good
Yeah.
question. It's just
Wow.
hard to believe that they've tried to kill the man twice. So I don't know what kind of plan he would have signed up for.
I
If he
think it
went,
was staged. I don't
oh
believe that.
damn, Ogford. Hey,
Shane,
I love it. I love
Shane,
it.
Shane, I know you're from Louisiana, and my
Yeah,
guess is you have shot a gun before.
a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you really think that if you got shot in the ear with a bullet, like you would have a little tiny band-aid on there, and then 2 days later it would be off? That would blow your ear to pieces.
It grazed them, man. It grazed them.
Shane. Okay, Shane, let's do this. I'll fly to Louisiana and I will shoot you in the
In
ear.
the ear. See if you can graze me and see.
Fucking graze you.
No, man.
It's
Look,
the Amazing Grace.
The Amazing Grace. That's right. No, I've heard that before, and you're right. I mean, it's hard to throw anything out the window when it comes to any kind of conspiracy nowadays because so many of them come true. But I get it, man. I've heard other people say that. I just find it. I mean, something made him bleed. I mean, what you think? You going with the whole when he fell down, he had a blood packet in his hand, and you know what I'm saying? Like what?
I mean, he was an actor.
Well, he was at one point, wasn't he? Yeah, he was on TV. I mean, I don't know.
And
Yeah, well,
and he is a showman,
well,
right?
that
He is
is.
kind of he's a carny, right? I mean, he's a
Do you really think that Trump needs a gimmick?
you know why?
Why does he need a gimmick? Let's
Because
hear this.
I think that there are a lot of people that are still on the fence. And I mean, if you go back and look at the history of nationalism in certain countries, Russia, Nazi Germany, these kinds of things, I mean, he supposedly gets shot and then he stands up and makes this cringy, awkward, exactly. And that symbol is the symbol of the South African resistance movement of the 1970s, 80s, and
Oh yeah,
90s.
another
Amandla
symbol is
Nawetu,
that when people stand on 2 feet, that they're doing something they're
correct.
not supposed to. Look, no,
Ha-
we're not buying that shit. That dude does not have. He doesn't need a gimmick at all. Whereas Trump stands on his own 2 feet in the morning time, he means business. He doesn't need a
he-
gimmick. He doesn't have to
He's a
pander to
showman.
anybody. That dude does
He's a
not have a
showman.
gimmick. He is the gimmick. That orange comb over that he has, that's his gimmick. The rest of it is go time. That's our
He's
president you're talking about. Think
he's
about
a
it.
showman. He's
Think
a
about it. Yeah,
showman.
he's a showman, exactly. He doesn't need to go get shot in the ear barely and risk his life.
Well,
I mean,
but
because
all
I hear
for
what you're
saying
saying.
that.
No, but think of this. Think of this. Wait. He's saying that Trump is going to let a high-powered rifle whiz by his
No,
head.
he's saying it never happened. The shot never happened. You done got bougie now. Ogford.
Well, because people behind him died. You know that, right?
Hey, well, let me.
How
preface
did you come
all
to
this-
that conclusion?
Hold on a second. No, let me preface all this discussion by this.
Dude,
Look, we're
with a
all
body. The body
don't
is how
take.
you come to that.
Hold on, bougie. I don't want to
Were
offer
you
to take
there?
it.
Were you there?
Can y'all hear me?
Let me mute. Hold on.
Boo-
Let me mute my mic.
Yes.
Okay, Ogford, can
Bougie,
you
were
hear me?
you there? I can hear you, Shane.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on one second, y'all. But you and Bougie, hold on. We can discuss all of this, but just keep in mind that we all clown around with each other, so don't take anything serious, Ogford. I don't want Ogford thinking that we're being disrespectful because we disagree. We having fun because I can see where this is going.
You and me both.
I don't
See?
want you to think Bougie's being an ass. Bougie's just very opinionated. So let's.
I am too. It's
You know,
okay.
we're all
I'm gonna
good
tell you
here.
I'm gonna tell you where I come from because I don't support neither Democrat or Republican because they're both full of shit. But the truth is the truth, and that's where I'm going with it. And if anybody wants to just jump sides or be on a certain side of the fence because that's what they choose to do, and it gets bad on that side of the fence, and they be like, "Oh, that shit's not happening," like the Democrats saying that Biden doesn't have a problem with his mental stability and other things that they're doing right now. I mean, they're killing it right now, right, Brad? But when it comes down to it, the truth is the truth, and Trump does not need a gimmick. That dude stands on business, and that's all there is to it. I mean, until
Bougie,
I can get proven differently, then I'll get proven differently. But we were sitting here watching it. If you remember, we were watching this as it was unfolding on a live podcast.
what would it take to convince you?
Nothing.
Oh, well, then you're not open-minded to that.
Yeah,
Then.
well, I was gonna
No,
say,
what
well,
I'm
then
saying
that's-
is nothing. I mean, I'm not convinced of any of it at all. But from where I
And
stand and
that's
what I see,
yeah, but this is my
eh,
point, though. How can you have a discussion to learn about facts and to learn about potential truth if you're not willing to analyze everything from all perspectives? That's like going
no,
to a religious person. It's like going to a religious person and saying, "What proof do you have, or what could I convince you that your religion is wrong?" And they say nothing. What's the point of discussing it then?
good
no,
point.
that's not what I'm
Yeah.
saying, Alfred. What I'm saying is
Sorry?
the things that appeal to me as far as truth, whenever I see something, if it resonates with me, it resonates with me. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I watched all of this unfold. I watched all of this theater, as unfold before my eyes and watched both sides of their reactions to things. And the way it went, I highly doubt. I highly doubt that was some
You
theatrics.
highly doubt, which means that there should be 1%, right? You remember the 1% doctrine from Dick Cheney? So if you're not willing to give me a 1% chance to convince you, then there's nothing to discuss.
Nothing to discuss. Yeah. No, and I see. I guess what Boogie's saying is he watched it unfold, but what Ogford's saying is there's ways to make things look like they're not. And he's just he's kind of under the assumption that Trump is involved in all of this. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't lean that way,
Okay,
Ogford. Just respectfully, I don't. But I mean, maybe that's just because I want it to be true so bad that somebody's going to come and take over this country and start turning it around. So maybe that's why I'm biased towards it. But
Let me ask you this then.
yes,
This is kind of my take on things, and the reason why I'm against everything is, and I don't mean this in an insulting way at all. It'll come across insulting, but it's not.
go ahead, buddy.
Isn't that part of getting people into tribalism and waiting
Yes.
for a leader to rescue them?
Yes, it is, and you're right. You're right, and I like battle with that as far as inside thinking about that, but it's also, I mean, you can't be, I mean, maybe you can, but it seems like you can't be leaderless because then you have total chaos. You know what I mean? So to me, you would just think you need somebody that really wants to lead and for the right reasons. Now maybe I'm wrong with that. Maybe that's not the approach I should be, going towards. But I'm saying it just seems like that you got to have a leader or it's just anarchy. You know what I mean? And it doesn't seem like that gets you anywhere either. So what do?
It's only anarchy if you have people who cannot regulate themselves, which is what we do have in our society for sure.
Yeah.
But my guess, Shane, is if you and I lived next door to each other, we could handle any situation through logical, empathetic discussion.
Yes, you and I could. Yes, I trust that. But, our neighbor may not be able to, without law and order,
And you saw I typed in the chat, is Trump not a Republican Obama? Because the way that the Republicans fawn over this guy is the same thing that the Democrats did of Obama.
They did. That's
this
true.
Is why this is the setup for the rope-a-dope.
Right. Did the setup? You got me saying setup. Did the Republicans come at Obama as bad as these Democrats came at Trump? I mean, they tried to jail this man. They're still trying to. They're trying to ruin every aspect of his life and anybody that's involved with him.
Shane,
It just seems like it's going a little deeper with him than it's ever went with any other candidate. I mean, I don't know. Who's making all that noise? What is that noise?
Let me see.
Is that me?
No, I don't know who it is.
Shane, let me ask you this.
Quick question, right here. Do you think that Trump is trying to say that Trump did not, that it wasn't an assassination attempt? Is that what you're?
I think.
I'm not saying you're trying to say it. I'm just saying that is that what you're hinting at?
Yes, I don't believe that it was an assassin. I think it was staged.
All right, and then what about the second time that it was attempted?
I didn't follow it. I didn't follow it too much. Let me describe it in this way. You remember David Copperfield, the magician?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was a bunch of pomp and circumstance prior to whatever particular trick, and they would make you wait 10, 15 minutes before he did whatever trick he did. And there was a beautiful girl, and then he swung his cape and he flew in from the sky. He didn't need to do all that stuff. All he had to do was do the trick.
Yeah, but he needed a build up.
No, David Copperfield was real.
And this is what I'm saying about Trump, though. Is Trump is doing the build up.
No,
and I get it, and I'm nobody to argue against that because I see your point. It's just like I said, I guess I want to believe so bad. I don't know.
He must not know that Trump will say whatever's on his mind, and he'll do whatever. It doesn't take a lot. Like if you see the stuff he said about Rosie O'Donnell, like flat out while he was running for president against Hillary Clinton, you think he's going to need to do all of this stuff to run against Kamala? I think not. I mean, he might need that trick in the beginning, but
how come he didn't jail Hillary?
That's very true, dude. I did not like that at all because he ran that fucking mouth the whole time he was campaigning. Lock her up. and he didn't do a
There was a
damn
lot of
thing
stuff
to
that
her. And
was
he was going to release
illicit.
the JFK files, and he didn't do that either.
And he didn't drain
You're
the
right on
swamp.
that, but there was a lot of
And
stuff
he
that
locked down the
did.
country. And he locked down the country. And he rolled out the Jabberjaws.
Yeah, look, man, I can't look.
But not only that, but
I can't argue
everybody, there's a
against for
lot of
sure.
people right now who live underneath that same aspect. There's a lot of friends that I have, and their wives and things work for companies that had to take the jab, and they have to keep quiet about it. I mean, so the resonance of that goes a lot further than what we can actually talk about. And with the whole aspect of Trump not being able to do everything that he talked about doing before he got in office, it was a rude awakening to him whenever he got in office to see how applicable he could be in everything that he thought that he could do before he got in office. So there there is a little bit of a wobble there.
What's good?
Um,
Sorry. No, please finish.
no, I'm just saying that there's a little bit of a wobble there that Trump couldn't do everything that he proposed.
You saying he got in there and realized that, holy shit, this is deeper than I thought. One man can't just come in there and start changing shit.
Right. But if you
So
remember,
what's going to make this time different?
Nothing. Nothing
Exactly.
at all.
Exactly.
Let's see.
I'm
Let's
with
see.
you.
I swim in the water or I get in the boat. I'd rather be in the boat. I mean,
How did you come to the conclusion that Trump is going to be the boat?
well, as opposed to what? To going with Kamala's camp?
I'm asking you. This is the person that you're defending, and what I'm saying is I'm for neither one of them.
I'm
They're
telling
both.
you that if we're walking down the side of the highway and a crackhead rolls up on a bicycle or a taxi rolls up on the side of me, I'm taking the taxi.
How did you come to the conclusion that Trump is the taxi? We've already had him for 4 years in office. He tripled
those 4
the
years.
he tripled the debt. He tripled the debt, $7.9 trillion. Didn't drain the swamp, didn't arrest Hillary, rolled out the jabs, committed treason against the American people. What more do you need? Like what is it that a particular person has to do in order for you to not be on their team? Like does he have to kill somebody? Does he have to kick your puppy?
It'd be a good start.
No, man.
Is that a Rottweiler puppy or a Chihuahua puppy? What kind of
I
puppy?
get everything offered.
Do you pick the puppy?
So you're not a Trump fan, I take it, Ogford.
I don't think he's an either fan.
Yeah,
I'm not either fan.
Yeah, you're not touting Kamala either. I mean, you're anti-government basically.
I'm against corruption.
Yes. Yeah. Well, as we all should be. I just don't know,
correct.
like the way our system is set up over here. You know it. I mean, you're from here. I mean, somebody's going to be running this motherfucker. You know what I mean? They're never just going to not be a government. So it's like, what can we do as citizens to make sure that the people that are running it are doing it for the right reasons? Like, I think, me personally, I think we're too far gone. I just don't think you're ever going to get that. I just think Trump, gets out there and he gets you fired up to at least somewhat believe there's a fucking chance, where deep down inside you probably know he's not changing anything. I'm with you. The next 4 years, if he wins, he's not draining anything. There's nobody going anywhere. You know what I mean? Now I guess the economy was doing better when Trump was around. It's
sure,
hard
because he's a billionaire.
Well, that's what I mean, but it's hard to argue that. It seems like everybody financially was living a little bit better. So, I mean, if that's all we can take from a Trump presidency, then fuck. I mean, because we're going to have somebody. It's going to be him or it's going to be Harris. So what do you do? I guess you just don't get involved like yourself, because that's kind of, what I...
Correct. You know what Shane, what I always tell people is the only way to win a rigged game is to not play.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
true, and I think I think what we look at too, Shane and Og and Bougie and Justin sitting here, it's like we sit here as citizens over here and we're wondering, like, even Trump, was it better under Trump than it is now? I feel in my heart, and being as a business owner, and most of us here being business owners, yes, it was. But I also look at the aspect of when you're trying to impose these totalitarian rule and just this, I call it socialism 101, that the tyranny that, if it's gun rights or if it's your First Amendment rights, or it's just who's the best that you'll own nothing and be happy. I think that's what a lot of people fight. And I think Shane and I are kind of on the same page. I don't know if we ever correct it. And I've said it on past podcasts that, dude, I think we have to fall as a country. And of course, I believe we'll fall from within, but I believe we have to fall as a country to understand of what's going to truly happen. And I see no good coming out of any of it. It doesn't matter this November 5th who's elected. It's still going down a path of destruction for the American people. I
You're
just,
so
that's me in a
optimistic, Brad.
nutshell. Yeah.
Such
Well,
optimism, Brad. I
well,
had
I
to
would
get up
say
before Brad and
Alfred's
Brad.
argument, his answer to that would be, why even bother voting then? You know what I mean? I
Well, I
think that's
mean,
what.
I agree with him, but to me, it's like a civic duty, and it's something that I've done for the last,
Yeah.
40 years or however long I've been able to vote. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, I agree with Hawkwood. Yeah, it's like, why even get out and vote anymore, because I think the decision's going to be made, and look, the stuff that's being on this mainstream media of today, and I'm following it that if Trump wins, Kamala is ultimately the one that has to certify the vote that Trump wins. I don't see that happening. I never will see that happening because,
Her certifying it?
yeah, I don't see her certifying a Trump win. I just don't. And I think, look, I think there's nothing but chaos. And I tell people all the time, and I hate to sound like the doom and gloom or Glenn Beck, but it's like, dude, people prepare for what's coming to this country. It's going to be something unprecedented. We've been through depressions. We've been through recessions. You've never seen a monetary collapse in this country. We are there. You can't print $1 trillion every 90 days and expect that the almighty dollar, which to me, in my mind, is worth shit. You can't say that it's going to be here in the future. We're going to digital. We're going where we probably most people don't want it to go. Some people think it's great. I don't think it's great because then they have total control. It's not even about us as the United States, pal. It's about the cabal. It's about this one world government, one world governancy, however you want to take it, whatever adjectives you want to use. And it's sad because, you always try in life, and I'm 53 years old, and as my father used to tell me, you always want to leave your kids better off than you are. I'm at the point today, it's like, I don't know if my kids will be better off than what I was, what I am, or what my wife and I are today. I have fears on that.
Yes.
And it's like, it's bigger than just the United States. It really is. It really is.
Can you guys still hear? Okay, I'm still there.
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
The what I typed to Shane in the chat while you were talking, Brad, was the fact that they can suck my left cabal. Um,
Absolutely. I'm with you. I'm with you, dude. Yeah.
the, the I think we're headed for the purge. I
Yeah.
think that there is going to be chaos like we have never seen before. And once
Yeah.
again, like I said, I've been studying this stuff. I even started studying the Kennedy assassination when I was like 12 or 13, went back to sleep, and then was woken up after 9/11, which we're going to discuss here in a moment because I'm going to make that transition because I know my stepson Bougie over here would like to get into a discussion.
And look, and Og, you're saying this, and I know you were talking earlier about the Nixon administration. This is, to me, in my mind, is when it all started about the downfall of America with taking us off the gold standard. Uh, and I know we're reserve currency, but that is short lived. I mean, if you look at BRICS today,
Hmm.
God, it's so changing in astronomical ways where I think the average, and I call them low information people are all just worried about, hey, I got to go to work today, this week, I got to make my paycheck. They're not looking at the forest because they can't see the forest for the trees. I mean, the
Hmm.
trees for the forest, whatever you want to call it. There is what's coming in this country is going to be just totally mind changing, life changing as the way we know it. And I'll let you go on from there, Arthur, because I like I think where I'm going, what I think you're going to say is going to totally, you and I are going to blend with this.
But isn't this idiocracy, and isn't this the reason why they created the Electoral College? Because they knew that the people that were in the villages, farmers, they weren't educated enough to vote.
God, I mean, you see, that's a whole different subject because when you look at Constitution and you look at, I mean, I guess the question I'd have to ask you, Ark, would be, are you a republic? Is a republic better than a democracy? Because from what I'm understanding is a democracy is nothing more than just an up or down vote. If you look at electoral college, it basically gives the people in Kansas and Missouri that doesn't have the population a say so in how policy and how governments rule, you know?
Well, Benjamin Franklin said democracy was two wolves and a lamb deciding on what to have for dinner.
You're so right. It really is true. I mean, I know where you're coming from with that, you know? But I mean, because if we go straight up and down voting in a democracy where a majority rules, and look, and where I'm living in the state I'm in, I am not for abolishing the electoral college. I mean, that's just me. But if we go straight up and down vote, you're talking California versus New York are going to decide the policies that are in this country, if it's gun control or
Correct.
if it's whatever it might be, you know?
What
And that's not the
you
way to
mean,
be
Brad?
united.
You mean
Correct.
having just a straight up popular vote?
Mhm.
A
Correct.
straight up popular vote. And look, you can look at it like this, Booge. Hillary won the popular vote. Trump has not won a popular vote in this country running twice, but electoral college won him the vote originally.
I
I
can only
think
So
say
the
that
vote
we're
being
was
lucky.
rigged.
said, wait,
I can
what's
only
that?
say we're lucky on
Boo,
that, but at the same time, I think the majority rules. What I believe.
Booze,
God, I just
Booze,
I
you'll
don't
like
know.
this. Booze, you'll like this. I think the 2020 election was rigged against Trump,
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%, Og.
Trump has had so much stuff rigged against him. It's unreal.
especially good hair. All right, on to
It is.
9/11.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
absolutely.
9/11.
Let's get
Let's
into
do
it.
it.
All right. So I was typing a couple weeks ago with regard to it, and the way I have to be honest, I was completely and totally swept in at the time that 9/11 happened. Did not have a television. Like I had one, but I didn't have cable. I was living in California, and I never watched television. I never watched the news or anything. So the first, I would say probably 2, 3 months, I'm ashamed to say that I believed the official story. I am ashamed to say that. I am. And
Like
one
we
day I
all
was,
were. But yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah.
we all were. Yeah, absolutely.
I, w- I was walking through Borders. Kids, for those of you listening, Borders was a bookstore, and a book is this thing that has like papers. And on the papers, there's letters, and those letters, they make a word. So I was walking through Borders, and I saw this book from Thierry Maison. And I don't remember the exact translation from French, but something like The Impossible Lie or The Great Lie or something like that. And it had a picture of the Pentagon's hole on the cover, and then it had a superimposed um, uh, airplane, like it was flying into the building. And I was like, "Oh, shut up!" And so I buy the book and I start reading. And I kept on buying books and I kept doing more research and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I watched many of the videos, Loose Change and Simon Shack and all Dave Von Kleiss. I can't remember what his video was, but my head kept on spinning around and around and around. Like, how did they pull this off? How did they do this? How did they do this? And then there was a guy from Canada named Jeff Hill, and he used to make all of these phone calls. And he called Boeing and he asked them about, he basically used the specifications of um, the 9/11 commission of what they said that the airplane was doing, like the speed and all this kind of stuff. And he asked the lady and recorded it and posted it on the internet. It's of course been taken down now, but she said she said, "Oh, 584 miles per hour, not a chance." And there is
Wait,
the
wait, wait,
one
wait, wait,
video,
wait, 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 wait. Because I fly on an airplane. You said not a chance. What? You said it's going
584
slower,
miles an hour at 1,000 feet, physically
slower or
impossible.
faster? Huh?
Slower.
You said that the plane was going, that it's physically possible for a plane to go 500 something miles an hour.
At 1,000 feet, he's saying.
At 1,000 feet.
Why?
It would break apart. The engines don't have enough thrust, and if you could provide enough thrust, the parts of the plane would
So
pull
why does it
apart due to
fly 500 something miles an hour up at 50,000 feet, but it can't do it whenever it comes down?
the air is less dense at 30,000 feet.
Oh my God, dude.
So there's no chance it was like decelerating. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like
but
it was.
because he said that the plane has brakes.
According to, assuming that you believe the radar studies, okay, this is what the American government is saying they calculated the speed at. This is not me saying this.
Right.
They're claiming in the commission report that it was between 575 and 584 miles an hour, which,
Okay.
according to Boeing and even pilots that I've talked to that don't, how do I say this? Many of the pilots that fly here in Africa get trained in America. So they go to American flight schools and then they have their certification and then they come and work here in African, Ethiopian Airlines, South African Airways, these types of things. And I've talked to them about this and they said, yeah, absolutely not possible.
Well,
And so what I decided to do was I decided to work backwards from it. And we say, okay, if you look at the Luke Korchesny or Michael Hazarkani videos from the ground, looking up as supposedly Flight 175, the second, okay, the Flight 175 is going into the second tower, you can see that if you play it on 0.25 speed or 0.50 speed, you can see that the left wing disappears right before it hits into the building. And additionally, there's no deceleration like what would be expected if you had two objects colliding with each other, especially a steel and concrete building. And if you believe in Newtonian physics, the amount of force of a plane traveling 584 miles into a steel and concrete building that's standing still is the same thing as if you had a plane that was sitting on the ground stationary and you move that building 584 miles an hour into aluminum plane, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Right.
So therefore, if you're putting your money on which is going to win that fight, is it going to be the aluminum and fiberglass plane? I mean, we've even got Shane, you can hear me, correct? Okay.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because Booge is telling me that he can't hear me.
Mhm.
Um,
I don't think he can hear anybody.
It has no sound, but anyway.
we've seen videos where the nose cone gets busted in on right when they hit a flock of geese or whatever. The nose cone gets deformed and the plane has to land, correct?
Right.
So now, how is this plane gonna go through the building with no deceleration, right? You would have the engine hitting the building and falling to the ground, pieces of the tail, the ailerons, falling to the ground. Part of the plane would go into the building, and then part of it would fall out onto the street. But that's not what you see in either one of these videos. What you see is the plane going through, and then even on the Fox
I can't
5
hear anything.
WNYW
No,
from the helicopter,
I can't
you'll
hear
see the
anything
note.
coming in. My connection dropped for a minute, and then
We can hear you now.
you guys
We can
can't
hear you.
hear me,
Yeah,
but I can hear you. Kind of same thing was going on with Austin now.
yeah. Can
No,
you hear me? Okay.
he can't
I
hear
can hear.
us is the problem.
Okay. Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I get his ass off.
So if you look at the WNYW flight helicopter video footage, it appears that something comes out the other side. So how is this fiberglass nose cone going to go through
Yeah, still
steel and
nothing.
concrete, through a bunch
Skip all
of
the way out and back in through my email to get back in, and then
He doesn't know you're talking. Hold on, awkward. Let me.
It's okay.
No, I'm gonna mute
Just,
him and then I'll text him.
Justin, what did you tell me to do? Log out and log back in. Or Brad told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He'll figure it out.
No, all you got a good point.
But well, besides all the scientific stuff that if nobody knows what the fuck anybody's talking about, we have no way to prove or disprove that. But what I'm more concerned with is people's theories on the reasoning behind it. to fake it, not to fake it, but for well, I don't know. Are you saying that they never even hit the building?
No, they did. And
Okay,
this is how I figured this out, is because if you take all of the evidence, there are people that are hearing, and even if you hear the original thing from WNYW where that guy was on the street and he's yelling, "Come to me, come to me, come to me," you can physically hear sound,
right.
but it's not the sound of a plane, right? Because the plane is very loud. So I began to ask myself for months on end, how could they do it if we know a plane can't fly at that speed, at that height, and we
Wait, wait,
know
wait, wait, wait,
that the
wait, wait,
plane,
wait. How do you know that? You
Boogie's
keep
gonna have
saying that you know
questions.
that. How do you know?
how do I know
Well,
what?
So we got to go off of a theory that somebody called Boeing and talked to Boeing.
no, you're saying how does he know what is what he's asking?
That a plane
So
can't fly that fast at that height.
You
yeah,
can
because
even Google it, and
I'm hearing
it'll
this setup.
you can Google it and just type in max VMO of a 737 at 1,000 feet, and it'll pop up as, I think it's something like 364 knots.
The plane was crashing, right?
I don't believe that there was a plane.
What you mean, Og? You just said you said you thought oh, you're saying
He's saying
so
something
wait,
hit it, but it wasn't a
something
plane.
hit it.
There was
Okay.
a flying object, but it wasn't a plane, because we already
Yeah.
know that a plane can't go through a building without decelerating and without part of the plane crumpling to the ground. You would have external loss of that plane. There would be parts of the plane that would fall to the ground,
You don't
but
think
that
it would
didn't
just
happen.
disintegrate from the impact of
No,
the no?
absolutely
Okay.
not. If
So
you look at, I
physics
mean,
and
there's
inertia and all the science
Well,
doesn't play into this at all.
which, if you remember when you had first started commenting, we were actually discussing this, and that was one of the things that I brought up, is that you don't see any parts of the plane flying out.
None at all. Right.
Nothing. You see
Right.
They
pieces
had
of
some good
building
maid service.
falling, but nothing from the plane. Not nothing.
Not the
drink
the tail
luggage,
wing or anything. Luggage,
Which
yeah,
no
absolutely.
that
Yeah.
was
no
my
luggage.
thought, is that, like, if anything was going to fly out, you would think the tail section, because everything in front of the tail section is being taken out by the front of the plane. So it's got basically clear space to fly through, you would think. But anyway, so
Oh,
as far as the speed thing, I was going to look it up here in a
Look it
little
up.
bit, but I'm just kind of on the assumption of you're right, and the plane cannot fly that fast at that height, and see where we're going to go
It's
with it.
so basically what I suspect at this moment, with the evidence that I have and have studied, is the
Right.
fact of they used the missile, right, which qualifies as a flying object, right? So maybe any type of a helicopter or whatever was in the sky would see a flying object, right? And just like when what's her name, when April Gallup was in the hospital, the FBI came to her and said, "You didn't see what you said you saw." Can you pull up Flight 175 from
Oh my,
The Hezarkhani clip?
yeah. Can you see the screen, Augie, or did you have to turn it off to be able to talk?
I can see
Like,
it.
okay, I didn't know if it was lagging or something. No, because you're in. I forgot you're not on the phone. You're in with us, so you
Yeah.
see me playing videos right now.
Yeah, go to the Hezarkhani 175. This is the one from the ground, and then I'll ask you to play it in 0.50 speed, and you'll see the left wing disappear.
Will you tell me when it gets to the one you took? Because this one's got probably all of them in it. This is the
All
one
right.
we were watching the other night. That one's an amazing shot right there, dude.
But nothing comes down. Nothing
So
falls to the ground.
look how fast that you don't think all that shit just fucking just. I mean, it's in that inferno just was gone.
Shane, do you know how strongly that building was built? They
I
built
got
that they built that building to take multiple impacts of airplanes. That's how it was designed.
that's
Yes, Og. And
Well,
Og, I agree with you 100% because the designer of that building even said it could take a 747 into
Correct. It's
that
like a
building.
pencil
Yeah,
pencil going through a mosquito net.
right.
so what do you? All right, well, let's analyze this video right here. So what are you saying happened when that is that a plane that hit it, or are you saying that's not even a plane? I mean, it looks like a
I think
fucking plane.
it's a missile with holographic technology.
Holy
Oh, come
shit.
on, dog.
Oh
hey,
God. Holy
I need
shit.
some of those holographs. I got
So
bills.
Hold on.
So,
Hold on.
Og, are you saying the same thing as the Pentagon?
Bougie, the next time just use Viagra. You won't need the hologram.
Look at that.
That
So,
was a
are you
great joke.
saying, Og, that the Pentagon could be the same thing?
Yeah, it was a missile because
Yeah, so no flights got hijacked and no planes hit anything. That it was just all missiles because why fly a plane when you got missiles?
Bougie Flight 11 and 75 weren't even in the NTSB database to fly on that day.
Wow. Huh.
There it is.
Cringe moments on B.S.ing with the guys.
Yes, I know,
cringe
Bougie. I
moment.
can't believe
This
that
is
you
sad.
still believe nonsense.
Come
Huh?
on,
And
Og.
you want to
Oh,
go
come
at
on,
half
bro.
Yeah, Og
speed?
says
Convince
that
me.
none of that shit happened.
Hold on. Convince me, Og. Come on.
Go to no, I think it's Luke
Look at
Corchesney
that.
then.
Look at that motherfucker come. Boom, and it's
No,
gone.
he
Everything
denies the
just.
Holocaust too. He's one of those people that denied it, that the Holocaust even happened.
Og, you deny the Holocaust.
Bougie, don't speak for me, please. I can speak very well English, even better than you.
You do. You speak very well.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
it's
but
not the
you're
only.
gonna silence me and tell me I got to swallow that pill right there? No, sir. Believe
But you
me
know
when
what,
I
Bougie?
tell you.
But here's the thing,
Listen,
Bougie. I don't understand why you're even on this show because you're like the least open-minded person on this show. No matter what anybody says, you disagree with it without even listening to the facts first. At least the
no,
other
I didn't have
guys,
to
they're
listen to
open-minded.
anything. I got two eyes. You don't see that from
This,
multiple angles. That's not an
but you saw
airplane right there.
that you saw the Flintstones too. Is that true too?
Yeah, sure is.
Well, that's part of your problem.
They had Barney.
Look.
They had Fred. They had Wilma.
Yeah.
They had Bam Bam and Pebbles.
No, I love this shit, man. I look.
Absolutely. This is
I don't have
deep.
to agree
Because look,
with
if you
y'all.
Um,
look at the
Shane,
Pentagon,
Shane,
man, if you look at the
Shane, I'm
Pentagon,
gonna send you the Luke Corchesney clip, and I want you to play it for me at. You're gonna have
Luke.
to do like a little bit of maneuvering it to the right spot,
Okay.
but you're gonna find it, and I'm gonna ask you to.
What do you say, Lou?
I got it.
Kenny
I'm sending
Chesney.
you the
He's
link.
gonna send you the Kenny Chesney clip.
What are you sending it through, buddy?
The chat.
Okay.
Oh, yep.
So let me play it. Oh, okay. It looks like about if you go to 3 minutes and 29 seconds and then play it at like half or 0.25 speed.
All right. Let me get it back up where we can share it.
Shane, you know who
Share
Bougie
screen.
reminds me of is Bougie reminds me of my ex boss who would just like name call. There you go. And put it on 0.25 and then open it up like to the theater mode. Okay, and play it on 0.25.
All right. Let me get to the speed.
It should be
Point
about
two
go to
five.
about 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Yeah, there you go.
Damn,
You
boy.
see the big bump?
Okay, where everybody seems to be
Exactly.
start.
Now, what I
Right
want
there.
you to do is there is a screen deformation right before it hits, and you're going to see the left wing disappear.
Come on, plane. Where you at?
There's the deformation. There's the decoloring.
I mean, that can't just be from shitty video quality from back. I mean, this is 2000.
Why didn't the rest of the screen do it?
Just asking, Augie. I have questions, buddy.
You can question.
No, you can't. And you question like I did. He tries to shut you down and say that he said that what? That I wasn't supposed to even be on the show.
Okay,
where
the
is
wing?
it? Ah, dude. Holy shit.
Now roll
What?
it back and play it again,
Holy
Shane. Where is
shit.
the left wing? Brad, you
Holy
saw it,
shit.
man.
Yeah.
Where did the
Holy
wing
shit.
go?
Brad, don't
Yeah.
start your shit. I didn't see you.
No, that left wing was not there, bro. The left
the
wing
left
was
wing?
not there, dude.
You don't see a left wing?
I see it in the air now.
Let it play.
There.
Gone.
Now it's gone.
Gone.
It's gone.
It's gone, dude.
All right,
Who
now let it play a
manipulated
little
this
bit more.
video?
Does it come back? Does it come back.
Yeah, it comes back, man.
Comes back.
That shit's in the
Yeah, because the
smoke.
left wing is
man.
the same
In
color
the
as the smoke
smoke.
behind it. Come on, man.
Look
Come
at
on.
that, completely and totally gone.
Oh, that shit
Right
blended.
there.
That's called
Gone.
the
It ain't got
blur.
no wings, dude. It ain't got
Blurring
no
into the
wings,
background.
dude.
Oh, yo. God.
I love it, dog. I love it.
Y'all have fun.
And
I'm leaning towards you, dog. Yeah, absolutely,
thank you,
dude.
No
Shane.
way.
And Shane, if you look at it from the one that I don't think it's not Park Foreman. There's another one too, where you see it from the other angle, and you
Mhm.
can see almost like the wings are inverted or upside down. You can see them drop as well from that angle.
I think we're looking at
because-
shitty video quality. I'm chalking it up to that.
Okay, so
yeah,
Shane,
'cause-
let me ask you this: if this is shitty video quality, it would
Yeah.
only be this view, correct? It
No,
wouldn't be other videos.
glitch. Like, I mean, cameras glitch, especially back
Okay.
then.
So if I could provide for you another video that did the exact same thing, then what would you say?
End them, buddy.
I would do that. No problem.
I mean, hey, look, I'm not even saying I'm right. I'm just telling you I question all of it because I don't believe a damn thing I see. You know what I mean? Except for 9/11.
I wonder about the Pentagon too. I mean, was that truly
Bougie
a
does.
plane?
Yeah, the Pentagon is
Bougie
very
does. He still believes that Dino is outside of his house.
He must think that I've not world traveled and don't speak different languages and all that. He thinks
yeah. Man,
and that I'm just a product of Hanna-Barbera, right? Like I don't.
Bougie wasn't. No, honestly, Bougie's the first one who opened my mind as far as you have to look outside of the United States before you just believe everything we do over here is correct. You know, I mean, I will give him that because I used to argue with him that ain't no better place than here, and and he's like, dude, you ain't been nowhere. Believe me, it's not all what it's cracked up to be. And I'm starting to see the light now that this place is a fucking shithole, man, and it's just run by evil corporations, and
No,
that
I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't.
I'll
Well,
say it.
that is it is run by corporations. Every place is run by corporations. However, having to adhere to just one place, I mean, we'd be more global than just United States citizens, and we do have that right. You know, a lot of people they got angry at me saying that I was talking about their precious country whenever I came back here. And I was like, no, it's not that I don't love this country; it's that I don't love the BS that happens within this country. You remember those talks that we had, Jay?
Oh yeah, no. Well, that's what before you got on here, Aug was telling me he's from here, and he apparently he said he kind of fell for all the African culture, fell in love with it, and decided I'm gone, I'm done. Ain't been back in years. I mean, now it sounds a little bit oppressive, Aug, honestly, where you decided to relocate to, but I mean, if you're living your best
That
life, man,
sounds
I
kind
get
of
to you.
fishy, but I can't really say I believe that he's from here because I can hear his accent, like how he was talking. And, I mean, I heard
Is that a
him-
conspiracy too, like the Jetsons?
that what?
You,
What that
you
don't
have
think
accent.
he's
What's
from
that
here?
accent, Aug? What accent rubbed off
It
on
ain't
you?
it ain't from nowhere's here. It don't sound like North Carolina or nothing. I mean, you got the there
No,
was
he
saying that
got a
had,
little accent, but he's been out the States for so long. It's like people that move down to the country in
all right,
America. They start
linguistically.
having a little
Let me school
twang
you on this,
after a
Shane.
while.
Let me school you on this. Linguistically, whenever you start talking to your native people, you revert back to that. Like right now, I'm speaking to y'all, but if I get around about 10 Creoles, straight up Creole. It's just what it is. So
Oh,
since he's been talking to us and he's still kind of, talking like he's gonna have a spot of tea and things like that, then it's kind of hard to believe. So
where you
I'm gonna
from,
call it
Aug?
BS on you.
I was born in Hackensack, New
Queensland,
Jersey.
New
okay.
Jersey. Yeah, you don't
I'm
sound
playing
like a
hacky
mob
sack.
boss.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't.
No.
Call
Yeah,
me
you
geek.
fucking.
Frankie.
Tell Jay
Oh,
Wow
Lord.
and
Oh,
what's
Booty
his name
don't
was in
believe
LA.
you you're from the States, brother. That's what we're getting at here.
I'm okay with that.
That's cool. Well, fuck it. Yeah,
So
he's
that's
like, I'm
100%
not claiming this place.
He's he, Boo- he's very 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 close-minded about the wrong things.
you think I'm closed-minded, son. You have a lot
Absolutely.
of pain that you're gonna feel in your life. Just believe me. The last
I'm
person
sorry,
who is closed-minded is me because I've
Bougie.
seen.
I'm not into those types of things. What you and your friends do
Look, now
after
he's trying
hours,
to
I'm not
insinuate.
interested.
Do a little jab. Oh, cute little jab. Wait, y'all, let it die. All right, now let's keep going.
Although we're trying to make friends on here, and
We
Booty
are.
can't help it. Where he goes,
Yeah, but I
Booty
mean,
just
when you
makes
call
friends.
the BS, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I mean, I hear a lot of what he's saying, but trying to push a different narrative, saying that plane didn't have a wing, and like sandbags and wings and whatnot. And come on,
But see, Bougie, the
I ain't going
reason
down.
why
That plane didn't crash because it was a missile instead of using a perfectly good plane, you can have a missile. And
But
It was a
Bougie, the
lot of
reason why so
thermite.
many,
It was a lot of thermite that brought the twin towers down, and it's just
I don't believe
ironic
that.
that it was
that thing was made
a
of
couple of
steel.
weeks.
They didn't have any termites.
Here we go. Termites. I'm not saying termites. Thermite. But I find it crazy that you had Donald Rumsfeld weeks before saying that they could not locate over $1 trillion in defense spending that's come up missing, and yada. You got to remember this is the Bush
Brett,
administration.
Brett,
Looking for an
that
excuse to get back
Brett,
to war.
Brett, that I believe it is proven that there was a certain amount of money that was here on September what 9th or 10th, 9th, and then they speak
I
on this,
believe
Brad.
there
Like
was a
educate us. No, no,
conspiracy.
no, no. You gotta hear Brad on this because that shit really happened.
Yeah, I believe all that. I'm lost on the planes didn't hit it. I'm just not there yet. And that's no
Yeah.
disrespect to Augie. I'm just saying I'm just not there yet. I just I don't
And Shane, let me kind of interject. The reason why many people, and I believe in this case, Bougie, are not seeing it from the appropriate perspective is for the same reason that I didn't, is because there was a blank in the middle of the sentence. And so what people did is they filled it in with the plane, right? But when you look at it backwards and you operate from the backwards perspective, when you do your own research, which I encourage, and you
Mhm.
come to the conclusion that the plane could not have done it, then now you have to erase whatever word was written in that fill in the blank because it can't be that. And so now you have to look at different potentialities of what could do the following things and cover all the bases. So there has to be something in the sky, there has to be something that makes a noise, there has to be something that goes into a building, but it can't be a plane because there was no deceleration, there was no luggage and things that are falling out. The nose cones in some of the images goes through the other side, but we know a plane can't do that. So therefore, if you look at it backwards as opposed to forward, many people, and in this case, what Bougie said, is him filling in the blank. And what I'm asking him to do is say, okay, explain to me then, Bougie, if it was a plane, how did it go through the building, a steel and concrete building that is 2 blocks wide with
stop sticking your head,
reinforced
Brad.
with reinforced steel interior? So it
Okay.
was almost like, I don't want to, like a square donut. And then inside there were the steel metal core columns. These, at the time that these things were built in 19 from 1968 to 1973, they were the strongest, most professionally built buildings in the history of mankind. And if buildings can really collapse due to plain fire, how come they didn't have to go back and retrofit every single high-rise building in the entire world? And how can the fire, how if the kerosene, basically jet fuel is like kerosene, if it burns so hot to bring down a building, how come it doesn't burn your ass when you sit in the plane? And
What?
how did
What?
if
Wait,
it
wait,
burns
wait, wait. What? What? What?
right, if it burns so hot, why doesn't it burn up the airplane?
I agree.
Hey, you do know that an internal combustion engine had like the gasoline goes into the engine compartment, then it gets exhausted out, right? They
Yeah,
don't
sure.
take the
Where's
exhaust on it, or does your exhaust come out of your air vents in your car, or does it go out of
it
the vent?
depends. It depends on what I eat. How did
Yeah.
the
I
supposed how
feel I know you're trying. I don't know if you're being serious or what, but I think we're getting trolled, Shane. I think we're getting trolled to the fullest. Because I mean,
bougie,
Rich
you're
could
the
be
only
in
one
support
that's
of this stuff, but
trolling.
this dude's a complete idiot. I don't know what the fuck else
No,
to
I think
say.
Arthur believes what he's saying.
Absolutely.
He's not the
Yeah.
first one to say this. I'm just
No.
curious. Like,
Man,
So
I'm
that's
so
so you start the jet engines up, and then the exhaust
uh-huh.
goes into the cockpit.
No, I didn't say that.
What
yeah,
say
it's just I
then?
think you lost all of us though. All
Remember he
honestly,
said,
with the why doesn't it burn you in the
uh,
plane? I'm just trying to. Uh, I'm trying
If
to
if if
follow what
if
you were
if
saying.
if jet fuel burns so hot
Right.
that when it crashes into a building, it can bring down the building. Bougie, you believe that?
Keep going. I
Bougie,
don't get my input.
No,
Just
because
go
I don't
all
think
the way
jet
through because
fuel
I'm not gonna. I
burns
can't.
and
hot enough to melt steel.
see, Bougie, this is why you're in a corner, is because you see, you like to
I'm not in a
guffaw and
corner, dude. I'm perplexed as to what you're saying because I can't really process.
because you don't want to clarify. All you want to do is throw stones at people when they say something that
No,
you
it sounds like
disagree with.
idiocy, and I'm telling you that to your face because I'm
Okay,
your friend.
explain it to me.
Because
So
other people
explain
are
it
going to
to
talk
me.
behind your back when you stop talking. I'm telling you
They
this to
can
your face. It sounds like
go right
idiocy.
ahead.
No,
Bougie, tell me, how
it's not
do
what I'm
you
saying. I'm
believe
not
it?
trying to be right or
Bougie,
wrong.
do
What I'm
you
telling you is I feel
Bougie,
that what
do
you're
you
saying is
believe?
kind of idiotic.
Bougie, do you
Like you need to
believe?
rephrase that.
Bougie, do you believe that jet fuel can bring down the towers?
Just keep talking, dude. Just keep
Can I?
talking.
Can I?
I'm asking
Well,
you a simple question. Why are you avoiding it?
Huh? Oh,
Why are you avoiding my question?
my
well, let
connection
me
might
ask you
be
this,
slow.
Ogford. Does it?
Hang on, Shane. Let me
Go
get
ahead.
an answer. If he's such
Hmm.
the weazened magician of combustion engines, do you believe, Bougie, that stuff can bring down a building? And see, Shane, this is the problem that I have with people is they
Are
pretend to
we
be
off or something?
open-minded, but when you ask them a question, they don't respond. Now he has a problem with his thing, but I'm going to ask him the question because all he's doing is throwing stones. But this is a pivotal question because if he believes that jet fuel can bring down these planes, then he's the one that's the idiot.
Well, can I
And I'm
rephrase? Can I ask the question as far as maybe you can answer? Because I have questions on this. I don't have any like this is what I
because,
know. I have questions that
because Shane, one of the things that I want to add is the government claim is the fact that the first explosions were when the jet fuel went down the elevator shafts to the bottom.
right.
But that's physically impossible because the elevators are staggered. They don't go straight down to the bottom.
Yeah.
You would have to take from floor 91, you would take from 91 to 78, and there was a lobby bank there. And then you would take a local elevator, and then 78 takes you down to 44. So it's physically impossible for that to happen. I'll ask Bougie again. Bougie, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you go ahead?
Okay. So Bougie, answer my question. Do you believe that jet fuel can bring those two towers down?
Here in the United States, we plead the fifth. Fifth. F-I-F. Fifth. Dude,
I
I
don't
got
want to
pulled
put
So
over by
why?
state troopers before and the police. You could question me all you want. I've been in back rooms with a certain dude that he knows. Well, he knows called Wayne. Remember Wayne, Shane?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
And
I
I
have
got
a question
Oxford.
about the jet. I want to ask
Huh?
the jet fuel though. Is it possible for it to burn hot enough to weaken the structure at all, Awkward? Or is that not a? I mean,
Ask
then
Bougie. He's the expert.
I'm actually curious about it. I don't know because I hear both sides of the argument. Just over the years, reading things
Ask
and
ask Bougie. He's an expert on everything.
That was
Go
going to
ahead,
be my
Bougie.
question too.
He's
Fuji.
trolling. You're trolling.
No,
You're trolling at your finest because you're trying
Bougie,
to
you're the
push a
one that's
narrative,
trolling because
and then you.
I asked you a simple question that you refused to answer, and you want to joke around and be like, "Oh, I'm Chappelle. I plead the fifth." You know why? Because you don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Fifth.
That's why. So what you're gonna do is sit there and try and be silly and funny when I'm trying to make a serious point about how our country was completely and totally ruined. And I'm asking you one
Awkward.
simple question. You want to attack
Awkward.
me about? No, 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 no. You're gonna listen to me. You
Oh, no,
wanted to
listen. Now,
attack
he
me
wants me to
about
answer, but he wants me to listen. Which one you want?
no, you're going to listen to me now. You want to attack me about things that I say. When I ask you to provide your side of the story, you want to be silly and joke around because you have no answer. You're just here to troll, not me. I'm giving answers. I'm putting forth my ideology.
Man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay. So tell me what happened then. I'm
You have a good
asking you a
idea.
question and you
No,
refuse?
because I'm
I'm
listening to a
asking you a
person that got
question and you
all of their
refuse to
information
answer.
off of. You just shared a YouTube clip with us.
You tell me, do you believe that the
And we
gasoline from
all
the
watched the
planes?
same YouTube. Listen to this. Listen, no, because I'm gonna tell you
I'm
where we're
asking
coming
you a
from
que-
right here.
I'm
I'm
asking you
telling
a
you,
question about the
you're
jet
asking.
fuel.
I'm telling you where we're coming from. Look, listen to this. Listen to this.
Jet
You
fuel.
just shared a YouTube clip with us,
Jet
and
fuel.
we turned around. All right, say jet fuel again. Say
Jet
jet fuel
fuel.
again. You're gonna watch you get a different
Oh,
repeat.
come on, Og.
Go ahead, kick me off. Go ahead, kick me off,
No, no, no.
Bougie.
We're not gonna kick you off. It's just that we hear your narrative. You know what I mean? You're going for a certain thing. That's what trolls do.
No, you're the one that's the troll because I asked you a simple question that you refused to answer. You're the one that's trolling. You're the one that's being silly because you don't have an answer.
You know when you have like a fart, you just wait for it to pass. Let's just.
Oh,
See, exactly.
Brad,
You're the one that's the troll.
I
You're
can't
the one
hear
that's
you,
trolling.
Brad. I see you talking, but I can't hear you, buddy.
Look, when we're talking about jet fuel burns openly at about 1,517 degrees. Okay,
And the
um,
melting point of steel
about 2,800.
can't get there.
No, exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you that. And look, I'm
At
a
what point does
conspiracy
it?
nut.
But let me ask
uh,
you, Brad. At what point does it weaken?
That I
You ever,
can't tell
you
you,
ever
Booch.
heated
I don't
something up
have
with
that.
a torch? Listen, you ever heated something up with a torch to bend it with acetylene torch to bend it?
Yes.
Do you have to melt it all the way to bend it?
I just look. I'm kind of
Screw your
on the
boy. No,
side
no, no,
with
no, no.
Og
I'm saying
here that it's a greater conspiracy theory. I don't think jet planes brought this building down. I would like to comment on like the Pentagon. I'm still not convinced that that was a jet plane that flew into the Pentagon. I'm still not convinced at that. But it's neither here nor there. I don't think we need to be talking about trolls, and I think Og is trying to
oh
make a
no, he's
point on what
trolling.
we're.
No,
No, I
no,
don't.
no.
I don't
That's
know if he
trolling
is. I think he's
because when I
talking. He's
told him to
got
say
some
it again, he
legitimate
said it again. He fed
questions. He's got
into it.
some
I
legitimate
am a comedian.
answers.
Listen, Brad, listen to this. Look, I'm a comedian. I'm good at language. As I'm talking, I'm listening. I'm watching what's going on, and I baited him in, and he fell for it. Straight up. I know what I'm talking about. I could
First of
listen,
all,
Brad. You've never seen me on
Bougie,
this
if you're
side,
a
but Shane
comedian, you
has.
should get a different job
What's that?
because you sure as shit ain't funny.
I'm what?
I said, if you're a comedian, you should get a different job because you sure as shit ain't funny.
I know I'm not funny, buddy. I'm
Good.
sorry. Yeah.
Good. So what did you bait me into? Everything I've given you, and keep in
What
mind,
I
I
said,
speak
say,
seven
say
languages.
what? Jet fuel
Keep in
again? And
mind,
you said it how many
keep in
times?
mind,
Say
Bougie.
jet fuel
Keep in
again.
mind, Bougie. Keep in mind, Bougie, that I speak 7 languages. Okay, so I lose my English sometimes. So that's why I kind of stutter and stammer, but I do speak English.
Buddy.
So now, what did you bait me into that I fell for and that I'm
Say jet
trolling?
fuel. Say jet fuel again.
So Bougie, you're not convinced? Is that where we're at
I'm
right
not.
now?
No, Shane, don't ask me that. I'm not funny.
Oh, that's something else.
Yep.
What was that, Shane? I'm sorry.
Nothing. I'm just it
All right.
turned into a bunch of chaos that.
Yep. And
Wasn't
look, guys, I'm gonna 86, dude. It's 9 o'clock. I got,
Yeah,
of
I'm about
course,
to get
some
out
of
here
us have
too.
work tomorrow, but Og, I want to thank you for coming on. I hope you come back. Booj, I hope you come
Thanks for
back.
having me.
Justin, I know we'll all be back. It is some of us have work tomorrow, and I thank y'all for
I do
having me,
too.
man. And
No,
All right,
B.S.ing.
B-Rad.
we out of here. Og, we're gonna continue this. I don't know,
All right,
another
sounds
day or
good.
so.
All right.
All
Thanks.
right, brother.